Welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd, designed to offer tips, strategies, and insight to empower nonprofits and entrepreneurs with sustainable win-win solutions. The Philantrepreneur Show is sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, building capacity through education and professional services.
Well, welcome and good morning. This is Dr. Victoria Boyd, President and founder of the Philantrepreneur Foundation, and we have another great show today, just full of tips, strategies, and insight for the business and nonprofit sectors. You know, I got to say good morning to everyone again. You know, because today's show is so great. But before we get into meeting our guests today, let's talk a little on some shifts happening. I was talking to someone the other day about how what I call the double yellow line separating business and the nonprofit world is sort of being crossed philosophically and structurally. And because I work on both sides of that, I wanted to bring some insight or things that I heard. That there are some leaders in both sectors building strategic plans based on a dual purpose, which is highly influenced by society and economics. The great thing is that this shift is viable and it's legal, and many people have a myth that you can't cross that line. Yes, there's some different things, but there are some misinterpretations. So let's don't misunderstand the requirements and nor the new legislation and statutes. Nonprofits especially have unintentionally handcuffed themselves, especially the notion and barrier that implies that nonprofits cannot develop earn income streams and not explore a whole marketplace available to them to become self-sustaining by actually believing the term nonprofit. I wish we could get rid of that term, nonprofit. You have to have a profit. Many businesses have seen the potential and tapped into the value of being a business with a heart, releasing the notion that business is only responsible is profit to their shareholders. And I mentioned it as a shift in philosophy and business structure. And if you want to be viable in the current or in the future, it might be worth your while to take notice that you can do both. There's even legislatures and statutes in many of the states that allow you to do that. And with that, we are going to talk about a great topic that crosses that double yellow line, the concept of family business and community impact. Our guest today is Daphne Mallory, Esquire. She's a media personality and international speaker and trainer and can be found on her own talk show, Family Business with Daphne, on 103.9 FM KGKI. Daphne has a long list of credits, and I won't try to go into all of them, but she's been on Billboard. Billboard magazine has described her as engaging fans and forging a new path. She's an Entrepreneur magazine contributor. Her work and life has been featured on ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, The Dr. Oz Show, Self Magazine, Women's Day, Essence Magazine, Massachusetts Lawyer Weekly, Black Enterprise. Okay, I won't keep on going. But actually, the list goes on and on. Welcome, Daphne. Before we get into the business portion, let's get to know you. Just tell us more about you, the person, you know, what was the driving factor that prompted you to do the work that you do today?
Well, thank you, Dr. Boyd. What an honor to be on your show. Thanks so much for having me. And I definitely have some feedback and thoughts absolutely for you in terms of that line between the business world and the quote-unquote nonprofit sector. But my story begins in Liberia, West Africa, one of the poorest nations in Africa. And when I was a little girl, my mother had this inclination that bad things were coming. So we all tried to get out of the country, but unfortunately we could not all get visas. So my parents made the decision to send me abroad alone. I was the only one able to get a visa at the time, to live in London, and I did so for about 6-7 years, and eventually would make my way to the United States. And what I learned living in 3 different countries across 3 different continents was entrepreneurship was the way for me to be successful. I didn't know to call it entrepreneurship at the time. I called it being creative, but you have no other choice. And I understood later on that, wow, this is E-word. It's called entrepreneurship, and really developed a passion for making my own way, creating a reality that fits my passions, dreams, and lifestyle. And ever since I really caught on to that, I went on to law school, and I did practice law. Got to clerk on the state Supreme Court and did many things.
Oh, you broke up. I'm losing you. Okay. Daphne, your microphone has gone off. I'm not sure why.
Can you hear me okay?
Now you're back. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there. Basically, I was on this path to, being the large law firm lawyer type, and decided, no, that wasn't it. I really wanted to make my own way and pursued entrepreneurship and did many creative things, and eventually found my path towards encouraging families to start a business together. I really do see that strong connection between family business and community development. So while families are creating wealth for themselves, they go on to create wealth for their community and uplift others out of poverty.
Absolutely. I mean, and I could see how the connection would be so strong there with your family influence and looking to the future and looking to, get their children into a better situation. And even here, I know of some family businesses that, it is truly, they just take and it's all for one, and they move and forge forward like that. That's such a great story. It's fascinating, and you mentioned being creative. I think, just looking at myself, I taught dance for 28 years, so definitely I have that creative bug on that side. But in working with a lot of entrepreneurs, it's that creativity, that vision, that going outside the box that really has forged and made a lot of them take the risk, of stepping out there, because it is a risk when you become an entrepreneur. So I really, appreciate, and it's great, to hear your story. So let's get to some of the questions that I'm sure our listeners really want to know, because quite a few have told me, I was thinking about doing a family business. I'll have to listen in. So what is the difference, really, between a family business and just a small business?
And that's such a great question, because a lot of people do try to lump the two together and try to find whether it's consulting or services to, address family business when really it can only address a small business. The thing about a family business, two things. First, you are dealing with the family dynamics. You're going home to the very people you're working with. You're not in separate households often. You have to maintain your family first often. And so it's not capital that destroys a family business, it's communication. Whereas a small business, people can readily part ways, and it's often a monetary struggle that they face. Not with a family business. You're dealing with emotional intelligence issues or lack thereof. You're dealing with legacy and transferring wealth. The entire family picture comes into play. And so you really have to deal with the family business very differently than you would a small business. For instance, I used to be a consultant for small business development centers, and, step one is develop your business plan. Well, I say not so for the family business. Step one, create your family vision statement and align your family business with that statement, because the business really is designed to serve the family and achieve the wealth and legacy goals, not the other way around. And so that's definitely the defining difference, is the dynamics that come into play, and how do you manage those dynamics and legacy goals and wealth creation goals and succeeding to generations, whereas the small business focus is, okay, how do I achieve, profits within the next 5-7 years?
Right, and so what I'm hearing is basically their whole platform or reason why they're starting the business has comes from a totally different purpose or, rationale or catalyst. That it's about how are we going to be sustaining as a family, like you mentioned, the legacy of our family versus we need to make a living.
Exactly.
Sort of, and go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the planning for both Dr. Boyd are completely different then, right? Because when I look at my family business, I'm thinking about generations 2, 3, 4, whereas a small business owner may just be thinking about this generation or the next, 10, 20, 30 years, if that even.
And some small businesses or entrepreneurs might need to take on some of the thought processes of that family business's development, to think long term and to really map out those strategies of transition or, what will be their exit plan, which often they don't really think about. But that's
absolutely.
You mentioned some of the challenges that families, and we all know, everybody's coming from families, and we all have different levels of dynamics and things. But in forming a family business, how can families overcome some of the common challenges, and you probably mentioned a few of them, of just basically working together?
Absolutely. As I write a weekly column for Entrepreneur magazine on this topic of family business, and I have the opportunity to interview highly successful family businesses who are in generations 4 and 5. And what I have learned from them, 3 things. First, some family businesses form a council. So there's a family council, third parties completely outside of the family business that helps the family navigate those rough terrains. So if there's a tiebreaker or they can't make a decision, can't come to a consensus, they go to the family council. And the family council is objective. And they say, well, let's look at your vision statement. So let's look at your wealth creation goals, your business goals. Does this decision align with this? If it doesn't, hey, it doesn't fit. And so some people use a family council. Some families, especially husband and wife teams, utilize a counselor. So that's another difference, by the way, between a small business and a family business. The typical advice for a small business owner might be go get an attorney. I say go get a counselor. Start with a marriage counselor. Put these people on your team because you're going to have those conflicts, right? And so some people, yes, they defer to a counselor to help them communicate. And it doesn't mean that, oh, my goodness, we're about to divorce. It's a preventative measure. Let's learn and develop communication skills now to prevent any issues going on in the future. And then some people also just do training.
Yes, and I'm listening to the strategies for the family business, but basically that's building strength just generally within the family dynamic, period. I mean, you're building just a strong family unit, which in society, and many people will say that the family structure in today's society has sort of, is floundering or really has sort of dissipated, and it's not really there in many instances. So I'm seeing already a crossover in how it supports just the community in terms of impact and building a strong community. But getting back to the business part of it, because we'll talk about that community sector later. Okay, so we've talked about the dynamics and some of the challenges. So what really does a family business look like?
Oh, several things. So I've had an opportunity to interview, like I said, husband and wife teams, let's say, franchise owners. Those people in your communities with your restaurants that are known on the national level, but you see them in your community. Typically, they're owned by husband and wife teams who engage their entire family in a business. You see them when you walk into that franchise or restaurant or store, and they're running those businesses sometimes 6 hours, 10, 12 hours a day. Sometimes they're removed and they have managers operating the businesses. So you have some of those typical standard family-owned and operated franchises. Some families are extremely creative. They develop technology all day long. They're inventors. They put patents on it, and they license it, out to other people, and you never see them outside of their sweat behind their desk and, behind their home office. And so the beauty of family business, and I should clarify, family business is not synonymous with a mom or pop enterprise. Although there are some people that choose that path, and there's nothing wrong with it. But there are billion-dollar family businesses as well, okay? Comcast family, on and on. I could name many family-owned and operated institutions and organizations that you would know that have gone on to leave major foundations and on and on. So it really does run the gamut between those who just sit on boards and make sure that the vision of the family is not disturbed, and their sole day-to-day activity is just managing their investment in the company, to the all the way down to the mom and pop who does it on a day-to-day basis as a home-based enterprise. So it just really, the options are tremendous, which is why I'm so excited about it. You can develop a family business around your passion, whatever that is for your family.
Okay. So if a family just has decided in, eating dinner or, at a gathering or something, why don't we start a business? But really has no particular business in mind, would you be able to sort of steer them in something that would work for them, or should they come with a vision already in mind?
I steer them towards figuring out what their calling is. So I've been the serial entrepreneur who have tried different things, right, because it seemed right, it made sense, could make a profit. Then I learned my lesson the hard way, because I'm that type of person. I'm very creative. I could sit here and come up with 100 business ideas and figure out 100 ways to execute each. But what I've learned in life is that I really need to
Okay, you went off again. I'm sorry. Your mic went off again. I don't know why this keeps happening today. I don't know if you are... Okay, I hear you clicking. Okay, what we're going to do is take our first commercial break, and hopefully we'll have...
The Philantrepreneur Foundation. Build your capacity with our educational programs and professional services. Learn how to be a philantrepreneur. Maximize your social impact and maximize your revenue. Visit thephilantrepreneur.com or philantrepreneurfoundation.org to find services, resources, and training to launch, enhance, or improve your business or nonprofit strategy. While there, sign up to receive the Philantrepreneur Journal digital publication.
Okay, we went to a quick commercial break, and I did hear Daphne come back on. Are you still there, Daphne?
I am. I'm so sorry. I don't see anything on my end, so I do apologize. And I think what I was in the middle of...
Yeah, everything is showing live. I'm in the studio looking, and everything's showing live. I don't know. Maybe are we in a retrograde or something with the satellite up there in space? I don't know.
I know. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I love it. And sort of what I was saying is that you want to build, I believe, any enterprise, but especially a family business that might work. Look for what your calling is as a family and build a business around that. My calling on our family is to help uplift others out of poverty, and you will see our family business molded and shaped around that. Figure that out for your family and then build a business around that. And I could talk about the different ways you might approach building a business.
Yeah, and some that keep popping as you're speaking is the whole financial thing. That's always a touchy issue, whether it's just straight business partners or I think it's probably even stronger within a family unit, looking at ways to develop the investment capital and things like that. But we'll take that for a whole nother show. That's what we'll do. Okay, I think we could actually talk about this topic on and on for many shows. But what I'm going to do is go to our what we call our Philanthropist Show tip right now, and then we'll come right back.
Today's Philantrepreneur Show tip.
Okay, I've been researching discounts for entrepreneurs and nonprofits for years because I'm always trying to give recommendations and referrals of ways that they can save money. But something I found out just recently, that for every nonprofit, if you have your 501c3, you receive a phone carrier discount, under the different acts. There's an actual act out there, and I did not get the exact name of it, but phone carriers, if you ask for that discount, can give you between a 15 and 18% discount on your total bill. So this is just another way to save money and in terms of being more effective and efficient. For example, T-Mobile does offer that, but you do need to go through a business associate to set it up. So the next time you're in your phone carrier or you're looking at more service, inquire about the nonprofit discount. That is a actual legislative act, and inquire with your carriers next time you do that.
The Philantrepreneur Journal, a quarterly digital publication reaching over 600,000 entrepreneurs and nonprofits. Get targeted exposure to reach your ideal customer with our unique Ads for a Cause, where 50% of the fee goes to support our nonprofit training and services programs. Together, we can make a difference, create impact, and build capacity. Visit thephilantrepreneur.com, Marketing Ads tab for all the details. Mention this show and get a 10% discount.
Okay, welcome back. And we're going to continue with Daphne. She is giving us so much information. I want to go out and start a family business now. Oh, maybe not. But I'm definitely, I'm in my mind, I'm exploring, okay, what could we do? I need to have a family council meeting here and talk to everyone and see if we could go in that direction. But Daphne is host of Family Business with Daphne, and she is a family business specialist. Okay, so we sort of discussed the structure. We might get a little bit back into that. But what a family business looks like and the challenges, I think people can overcome if they use the strategies and anticipate them and probably call you. But let's now discuss how the family business, and I even talked about just if you have strong family, it impacts community. But it's being sort of like being a philantrepreneur, which you have your business, but there's a side of philanthropy or how you give back to the community. So you indicated family business is key to uplifting others out of poverty and to developing the community. So why do you say that?
Well, I say that first and foremost because I believe that is the biblical model, that in the scriptures you will see common references to families and nations. Well, just, if you do research on the word nation, that gets swapped out for communities. The idea is that the family is so heavily invested in that community because they live there. That's where their children socialize. That's where their kids go to school. That's their future employees, right? Where you live.
Right.
And so there is this direct relationship between the family business owners that have to see their families and their community succeed because it comes back to them in terms of customers, a workforce, joint venture partnerships, and it's this great symbiotic relationship between the two. And that's why part of this passion I have about family business is about restoring the family to its rightful place of developing their communities because they have a vested interest, and I believe that's their rightful authority.
Right. So, and I might be jumping the gun, but should they consciously and strategically build into their strategy a definite process of having community impact, or does it just happen naturally or organically?
No, they must. To achieve family business success, you must include community impact because that's how you are able to remain sustainable. Trying to develop a family business without uplifting others, without creating wealth within the very community where you sit, it's not going to last long term. And this has been confirmed from most of the family business owners I've spoken with, and I've had the opportunity to ask this question. I always ask that, how does your family business impact the community? And they have all said that it's a symbiotic relationship. We must make the community successful because in return you have your workforce, you have your future partnerships, you have growth, you have a loyal customer base. You can't really have a successful family business without that.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of family business.
Absolutely, and it really falls under what is currently being called the we cycle. So excited that coming in the fall, Michael Drew, who wrote the book Pendulum, about this whole cycle of we and me cycle, how society and the environment and economics shifts from being community-centered, we, to being me-centered, I. And we're right in the heart of a we cycle. That's why social media, that's why Wikipedia, and all of these what I call social platforms that have just expounded why the whole marketing of your business and even, the platform of a family business is so aligned with the beliefs, goals, and heart of what society is believing. It's all about community, and if you don't demonstrate that, whether you're a family-owned business or just an entrepreneur and doing what you do day to day, if you don't develop and show how you care and impact community, you're just not using the tools and marketing effectively. So the family business concept is probably at its strongest right now for several reasons. Entrepreneurial growth has exponentially grown in the last 8 to 10 years due to, being creative, the we cycle, but also the recession. People were laid off and had to find a way of surviving. But this really falls and fits the parameters of the society we're in now. Family business is good for community. And it's great that we're talking about it today. So, okay.
I agree. And I just want to, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I just wanted to add to that, don't limit yourself also to what your community is. So, again, I've lived in 3 different countries. I have several communities that my family business has an impact on. In fact, I've most recently developed a relationship with peers of mine also passionate about family business in South Africa. So I have a new community. And so, yes, your community is where you live, but it's also where you're called to, where you're assigned to help others improve their quality of life. So I have several communities now around the world. I have a lot of followers from India and Pakistan, and I'm developing communities there, too, now with this concept of family business. So think big when you think about what your community is.
And just technology today allows us to be global versus just in your own circle, what I call your 10-block circle of influence.
Yes.
It's important that family business, yes, as you say, thinks outside of the core family unit and that core area or region that they live in, that they think, once again, like a business, step outside the box. You have the internet that will put you, like you said, in South Africa, in India, in a heartbeat. It's just you have to think about how to engage them, how to bring them into your community or make them a member of what you're doing. I love that. Yep. And that's why, some of the platforms we have with the Philantrepreneur, they're global. The radio show, it can be heard anywhere. I know I have listeners from Canada and New Zealand, all over the world, and even the digital publication we do. Anyone can access it. Some family businesses can set up a lot of their strategies to reach beyond their 4 walls or their brick and mortar existence. This is great. Oh, I'm so excited. So many philanthropists there.
I love it.
So, okay, I'm getting off. I'll get back to what we should be talking about. Okay, we're talking about how the family business does, uplift others out of poverty and developing the community. So once again, what does that look like?
So some examples would be, I've created what I call the family business quadrant. And my model is you start with the entrepreneur, and that entrepreneur grows into a family business owner who then grows into an investor. So here's a concrete way of how to use family business to develop your community. You know those vacant properties all around town? That family business owner should be on that and should become that investor, should be investing in real estate and providing affordable housing or other workspace, virtual space, whatever it is.
Okay, we're breaking up again. And so we're talking with Daphne. Maybe she'll be back on. Come on, Daphne. I am perplexed. Yeah, you're breaking up. I hear you trying to click in. It's something with the microphone. I don't know if it's in the studio online.
Dr. Boyden, I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me.
There you go. You're back in again. I don't know.
Oh, that is so bizarre. I'm so sorry. I don't see anything on my end. It must be a powerful message, right?
It must be, and this has never happened before. It's so weird. I'm on. I can't. Sorry, listeners, but we are here.
Yes, we are. Yeah. And when things like this happen, Dr. Boyd, I always go, well, I need to lean in and make sure I catch this. No, but I thought we.
I was just going to say we're definitely have to have you back again because obviously we are impacting the universe with all of this.
Yes.
I believe in synchronicity. We're impacting the universe here, so and the universe is listening and taking all of our radio waves. That's what it's doing.
Okay. Exactly. There you go. And it is
okay. What does it look like? I know we're getting silly here, but you were explaining what it really looks like.
Dr. Boyd?
Yeah.
Am I coming across? Okay, perfect. Yes. So one way it looks like is that the successful family businesses go on to become real estate investors. They're taking over those vacant properties. They're buying up single-family homes and creating affordable housing options for senior citizens, single moms. They're sitting on boards because they have the time and resource to participate. They are, for instance, myself, I organized the first ever senior advisory commission for my city. Basically, I wanted senior citizens to have a voice in the growth of our community. So I went, pitched, and got unanimously passed this commission for our city, drafted the bylaws, have facilitated meetings, and just try to get it off the ground to help senior citizens talk about the housing issues and transportation issues that they're facing. I did that as a family business owner. So whether it's through policy, through investing, through participating on boards, through foundations, through projects, I'm involved in a lot of projects like the I Have a Dream Foundation to try to help students have a college mindset and culture beginning in third grade who are economically disadvantaged. Whatever, those are just some of the options that I've seen from myself as a family business owners and others that I've spoken to. I interviewed an investment management firm actually just today for my article I'm writing up this week. And they've created a venture program at the Brooklyn College where students get to run a hedge fund. And they're pretty much just trying to open these students up to this new world of possibilities and starting at the college level. So it just goes on and on. The options are really limitless.
When you were talking about creating foundations and things, a part of a big program and platform of the Philantrepreneur is helping entrepreneurs create their own foundation. And so a family business could do the same. And you're talking about real estate investment. They could become a CDC, a community development corporation, which is a nonprofit, which their purpose and goal is to build the infrastructure of their particular community. And there's a lot of grant money and programs out there that really could help them have a structured and strategic plan of extending their family business into this foundation, which, once again, creates a legacy, because a foundation technically is, owned by the community. But, like you said, sitting on the board, their vision they can keep their vision active and on mission and on target, so that the legacy of what they're doing can be for perpetuity and have strong, long-going, sustainable impact in the community long after the initial family core, has moved on in transition. So I just love, the different concepts of how to take the core family business and expand it into what I call the hub, or, the core is the axle of the wheel, and then you have all of the spokes that can go on, but it's the whole unit, keeps rolling on. I get all these visuals.
No, you're absolutely right, Dr. Boyd. The family business and foundations, they go hand in hand. You often will see both.
If anybody out there needs the foundation form, they need to call me. Let
That's right.
Daphne help you create your family business, and then when we get ready to form the foundation, the Philantrepreneur Foundation is here to take you through all of the processes.
There you go.
We just created a partnership. Oh, my God.
So now, Dr. Wood, now are you going to start a family business then? Can we get the listeners to hold you accountable now? In fact, the foundation could be the family business, right? You could have a family business all around the family foundation.
So it's not too far-fetched, and there were some reasons why I asked some of my early questions. My son is on the board of the foundation.
Okay.
And so and the reason I pulled him in is because he has been involved in the nonprofit sector as a worker. He works for a huge nonprofit here in Las Vegas, but has always been what I call on the periphery, watching me do my work, and has always supported me. So in order to, with my whole mindset of always being in learning mode, I brought him on the board to learn the infrastructure of how a board is run.
Yeah. So
it's my sort of passing on the legacy to my son so that he can see, where all of my passion evolves from. But since that time, he's been on it for now almost 6 months, and he's asked some key questions about forming his own company. He wants to do, and I see him looking at the next level. So I'm really excited about that. And that's sort of why I asked, okay, what do we need as a family?
Yes, I love that, and it really does sound like you already have that in place. A lot of family businesses, that's exactly what they do. They have their children look on, participate, get them involved, give them different tasks, give them the great behind-the-scenes look, and really engage them. And, I have never met a family business owner that said, I forced this business on my, child. It was just a natural. And I've spoken to next generation leaders who took over the businesses from their founders, and a lot of them just had a passion to serve their parents. And that's okay. They just wanted to serve their parents and honor them and honor what their parents did. And that's fantastic. I don't think anyone should shun that. And then other family businesses said, okay, go work for someone for 2 years and come back. And they did that too.
Well, yeah, and he's worked, because we both moved. I moved to Las Vegas first, and then he sort of followed me. That mother-son tie. But anyway, and he's actually been and got involved in the community in a different sector, more in what we call here the industry, which is the big entertainment, travel, tourism industry, concurrently working for a nonprofit. So he got to see both sides of that element or environment of this city that is different than many, many other cities. I came in straight from the education side and the nonprofit world, and so I was not really exposed to his side, but he brings a lot of insight from that side of the world that I've been able to use, actually. So we do a lot of sharing, but right now the emphasis is the foundation, and we really, I think, just by having that mixture, he has always been totally supportive, shows up to meetings and things, So I'm really proud of where we're headed, and as a retired educator, I'm always looking at, okay, what will be my true exit strategy?
Yes.
Like creating the foundation and then having him, and then eventually, my daughter, who is still back in Michigan, we can have a national board. In fact, we already do. One of our board members is in Florida, but she might want to join also eventually. So it's just little steps of how you eventually engage other family members into what it is, or the vision that one primary person might want. And I think that's how we sort of have started down the path of a family business / foundation. It's exciting. I'm sort of glad we connected. It's really feeding into what I'm doing and what you're doing, and on air we just created a partnership.
See, I love that synergy, and I really do believe that all of the different models that have been great and worthy, okay, I just think that there's a new model now, and the new model is really the old model, which is that families, if you empower one family in a community, one empowered family whose intention is we are going to create wealth for ourselves and we're going to take everyone else with us, it's on. It's unstoppable. If they will just have the right strategies, they will become the power in a community. And that's why, quite frankly, sometimes family business can be frightening. People have asked me, well, who are you? You're not a politician. How is it you organize the commission? Or how is it you're like the go-to person for X, Y, Z? And it's like, that's family business. That's the power of family business. It's upside down, but it's right side up.
And I think that's why a lot of what we're doing has the momentum of them has really gone, because personally I felt there was a need, and I felt like I was not serving enough people. I knew I was helping one nonprofit here and there, but I was like, I need to go beyond just helping one. I need to be able to help all of them. And so by creating a platform of where any nonprofit can come to the foundation for training and assistance and things like that, I don't focus on one nonprofit, and that's okay. You can pick, children and hunger and things like that. Excuse me. But I don't get so much into your mission, your purpose. I look at your infrastructure so that you can be successful to serve your mission and purpose. I want every nonprofit, no matter what their mission and purpose is, to move forward and be successful. And I think that's what I'm also hearing from you for family business. No matter what the purpose or your widget, what problem you're solving, it's about all family businesses have a purpose in community, no matter what you're selling. It's a great message. I think we actually answered the next question of how families increase influence when you just said the power of family. But do you want to expound upon the impact to improve their community or neighborhood?
Well, absolutely. There is a light. It's hard to explain it, but when you just think of a strong family that you've encountered, whether it's in your own community or that you've seen on TV or some other platform, there's this immense light that emanates from strong, powerful families. It's very much influential because you've got the family itself is a little community, right? You've got all of these members with these interdependent relationships. And when they are empowered, the influence that they can have, they become the go-to source in the community. They become now, it doesn't mean that family should be solving everyone's problem, right? But it does mean that they do have influence, they do have trust. People do trust them because they're seen as sometimes being outside of the establishments or systems or whatever, and people do begin to say, okay, we're going to go to them for advice. We're going to go to them for, to lead the way. And then it's up to that family business owner then to be very responsible with that trust of the community, right, to help solve those problems. So it has a tremendous influence. It has a tremendous influence in selling and building your business. As you're selling your products and services, don't you dare hide the fact that you're a family, because that's how you stand out. Time and time again, as I've spoken to successful family business owners, when they share that they are a family, people go, oh, okay, we can be loyal to them. We can trust them. We can give our money to them because they're here to stay. And obviously, they're a family. They're not fly-by-night. So, yeah, there's so many ways for a family business to have influence and impact.
Absolutely. There's a huge family business here in the marketing field that part of their whole message is we're family-owned and run business. So I've seen the impact and the power of pronouncing, and being proud that we're a family-operated business. It's a great platform to be on. Daphne, you've shared so many, just great tips, insight, just the value of family business. I totally love how it aligns with the philosophy and platform of the Philantrepreneur. You're a Philantrepreneur right there. And
oh, yeah.
I'm sure so many of our listeners want more information or perhaps your services. So please tell us how they can reach out to you and listen to some of your radio shows and blogs. Just give us all of your information.
Thank you so much for the opportunity again. And first and foremost, go to my Facebook fan page, Daphne Mallory ESQ. Don't forget to add ESQ because you get to learn so much about me, and I post my shows and articles and everything I'm up to. Secondarily, my blog, daphnemallory.blogspot.com. And I have an additional section on entrepreneurship education. You talked about education earlier. My second thing that I'm really passionate about is entrepreneurship education for little ones and young ones. And so I write on all topics related to entrepreneurship and family business on my blog. So those are two of the best ways to connect with me, to get in contact with me. And I just love talking to people, so reach out. If you need to get your family members on the phone and for me to be like, okay, let's do it, we can do it, just let me know.
Okay.
I'd be happy to nag everyone into family business.
I think you're just opening the eyes of the possibility. There's a lot of budding or visionaries, entrepreneurs that are trying to figure it out. And I bet in many instances they just haven't turned internally, say, oh, why don't I look at my family as my team? I think this is really an eye-opener that here's a potential team core that is right at your fingertips. Have you even approached them? Have you even talked about it? Or are you keeping all of these ideas just internal and not sharing with those that are truly actually closest to you that can give you what I call the real deal, and speak candidly to you about their opinion of what your ideas might be. So our advice, Daphne and myself, is to, if you're a budding entrepreneur, think about your core structure that is right around you already and see and ask if they're interested in the concept. And never say never. If you need more ideas, reach out to Daphne. She's, as Ted has said, she's willing to talk to you, and she's a great resource for helping you get off your feet. Daphne, this has been so great. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm just so excited. I'm sure we're going to have you on the show in the future to talk about more aspects of family business and community impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. What an honor, and it would be my privilege to come back. Thank you.
Okay, I'll reach out to you. So, as you've heard on previous broadcasts, the Philantrepreneur Foundation is so excited about our upcoming conference, Impact Learning 2015. But we have an important update. Located in one of the most popular locations for conventions and conferences, Las Vegas, some of the largest of them come to our city. which sometimes can cause logistic problems. One of our main criteria was creating an affordable opportunity so everyone could attend. So we are changing the date because there's a huge conference here on the date we had selected. So save the date, October 26th through 28th. That's just the week before, 2015, for Impact Learning 2015. It's 3 days, 2 topics. The first day is all about marketing. Everyone needs marketing, especially nonprofits. And so they're going to be talking about really how to have impact with your marketing for this generation and using technology. We'll have Michael Drew, who is the author of Pendulum, and Kellen Kaufman, who is the partner at Advice Media Group. Day 2 and 3 is now how to use all that marketing with a social enterprise for nonprofits. It's the only way to be self-sustaining and have impact in the future. All nonprofits, you need to learn about this because your funding sources are drying up, and this will be your strategy. You can find all of this information. We created a special site. It's http://PS, that's for Philantrepreneur Foundation, PS impactlearning.info, and that will take you right to our site. Registration is now open. We're in the early bird stages. You'll get a great discount, but remember the space is limited for the conference, so you need to register early. Please go and like the Philantrepreneur Foundation on Facebook, opt in on the website, because for the conference we're going to be running some contests. We give away free registrations. There's going to be some features, and we're going to offer scholarships for our organization. However, you must be a follower of us on Facebook. Are you a philantrepreneur with a story to tell? Please give us a call. You can be a next guest on our show. And remember Guy Dawson. He's one of our column writers. He can write a story about you for our Philantrepreneur Journal. So on our next show, May 20th, join us as Vicki Simmons. She's a real estate professional using her passion and business to really have impact in the community as she supports foster children. So until next time, this is Victoria Boyd enthusiastically saying, make this a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Philantrepreneur Radio Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd. Get involved. Follow us on Facebook and other social media outlets. If you wish to share comments or suggestions or appear as a guest on our show, visit www.thephilantrepreneur.com. Contact Victoria Boyd. Email her at theboyd@thephilantrepreneur.com. The Philantrepreneur Radio Show is a production of and sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.